Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael, and we're going to be getting right back into some more Reddit stories. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's begin. This story was posted by a user named User in the Surviving Infidelity subreddit. The post is titled, "My husband of 20 years is cheating on me with our son's 18-year-old GF. I'm going to use pseudonyms for anyone I reference in this post. I am a stay-at-home mother. My husband, whom we will call Paul, works in finance. We have been married for nearly 20 years. We have 2 children, whom we will call Eric, our 18-year-old son, currently a senior in high school, and Mary, our 15-year-old daughter. They are both the lights of my life. My marriage with my husband has grown somewhat stale over the years for a myriad of reasons, such as his work schedule and how I've aged poorly since we first met. Our son Eric has a girlfriend whom he has been dating since they were freshmen in high school. We will call her Amy. Eric absolutely adores Amy. She is his first love, and she is someone I have always considered family. This makes the whole situation emotionally excruciating for me. Last week, I inadvertently saw my husband's phone screen and glimpsed a text thread between him and Amy, our son's girlfriend, where I read what appeared to be a message of her telling him that she misses sucking his cock. I froze in place, in complete disbelief. I spent most of the day convincing myself that I must have misread what I saw. However, I did not misread it because over the last several days, I discovered a file on his computer filled with tons of bondage, discipline, dominance, and submission pornography. He clearly has a pornography addiction. He also saved photos of Amy from her Instagram on his computer. Although they were not inappropriate, she was fully clothed, it was still the proof I needed to confirm that I was not going crazy. I also looked at his phone during opportune moments and saw more of their interactions. I wish I had never looked. They were filled with mean, horrible things said at my expense, with him constantly comparing me to her. He called me fat and old, among other things, with Amy laughing. I have always had hunches or paranoid feelings that Paul has been cheating on me, but never in a million years could I have fathomed something like this. Last month, I found a thong in our bedroom that I know was not mine. I turned a blind eye to it, being naive and acting like it might have been our daughter's, even though that made no sense. Not only is he cheating on me, but he is betraying our son. I am completely devastated. I do not even think words can adequately describe the dread, anger, and shock I feel right now. I am totally overwhelmed about how to handle this because obviously action needs to be taken, but I am terrified of the psychological blow this will be for my son. I have no idea how to even broach this completely disturbing topic with him. I would not wish this predicament on my worst enemy. I cannot even believe I married this scumbag in the first place. Then my mind started to race, realizing that I noticed unusual behavior from him around the same time Amy turned 18. Was he waiting for her to turn 18 before pursuing this affair? There are so many layers to all of this, and I am completely paralyzed with fear and dread. None of it makes any sense. How did this happen? Am I that much of a stupid idiot that I let all of this happen under my watch? Eric adores Amy, and the thought of revealing this sickening truth to him terrifies me. The impact on his young heart and mind could be devastating. My heart aches for Eric and Mary, who are completely innocent bystanders. I have not confronted my husband about this because I am frankly scared of the domino effect. I do not know who to turn to first. I share my story not for sympathy, but in search of understanding and perhaps advice from those who might have had to grapple with deep betrayal. Thank you for listening. Update. My brother connected me to a very tough junkyard dog type lawyer. I saved screenshots of all my husband's conversations with Amy. I was only able to retrieve the last 3 months of data from iCloud. The conversations were mostly flirty and filled with dirty talk. It was hard to stomach, completely sleazy, and I saw several negative remarks about me. His call history showed he speaks with her for hours on a regular basis. He uses dating apps. I took screenshots of his profiles and all the active chats he has with his matches. It is very clear he uses filters to seek out women aged 18 to 22. I copied all his files from the computer. He visits chat rooms and forums and spends a significant amount of money on OnlyFans. I searched every possible hiding spot in the house. He had various toys, blindfolds, handcuffs, lubricants, and similar items. He also had different outfits, including what looked like a Catholic schoolgirl uniform and a French maid costume. I picked up Eric and Mary from school and we drove to my brother's house. They sensed something was wrong when I picked them up. I carefully explained the situation to them and broke down crying. Mary reacted with the most anger, even more than Eric. I met with Amy's mother and told her everything. She confiscated Amy's phone and shared the entire chat log with me. The messages only dated back 3 months, similar to those on my husband's iCloud, as if both had deleted earlier messages simultaneously. She told me Amy sobbed when confronted. Amy insisted her mother would never understand and claimed she and my husband were in love. Without delving into excessive detail, it is easy to assume my husband gradually positioned himself as a mentor-like figure in her life, leveraging her unstable home environment. Amy maintains their relationship only became romantic or physical recently, stating he was previously a friend and mentor. I confronted Paul over Zoom. His expression was terrifying, flushed, sweaty, and filled with panic and anger. His tone was defensive and aggressive. He repeatedly shouted context and denied everything. He struggled to speak coherently, stammering intensely, and nothing he said made sense. I refused to disclose my location, and he accused me of having no right to take the children before abruptly leaving the call. My lawyer is filing for temporary sole custody of Mary and a restraining order. Mary remains the most furious, justifiably so, at her father and Amy. She is agonizing over past interactions she observed between him and her friends. Eric is clearly hurt but composed and level-headed. He wants to see a therapist. The maturity my children are displaying makes me proud. They do not deserve this. We informed the authorities of everything. I plan to be unforgiving and relentless in this divorce. I am reflecting on how his treatment eroded my self-worth over the past 20 years, leaving me a shell of myself. I refuse to let him escape consequences. I aim to reinvent myself and emerge stronger than ever. Update 2. Thank you again for all the love and encouragement. It gives me comfort and means so much to me. I have received many comments and messages accusing me of faking this story, which oddly also provides comfort because all of this feels unreal even to me. It validates my own feelings that there are people out there who cannot even fathom this being true. I wish it were fake. I have been focusing on and worrying about how others are feeling over this, somewhat ignoring my own feelings, which I am trying to change. I range from anger to numbness like a light switch. We are all safe and still at my brother's house. We are very careful and his house is secured. Paul has tried to call my cell phone several times a day. I am refusing to interact with him and I will have my lawyer handle all correspondence. He scares me, frankly. My brother has a very secure house with an alarm system and deadbolt locks. We feel safe with him. Both my son and I got checked and tested. It appears so far that we are both clean based on the immediate rapid tests, but in the coming days, we will know for certain when the lab results come in. I am not overly concerned. Eric is scheduled to see a therapist early next week, which is very good and needed. He is not himself right now. He seems a bit shell-shocked and I am concerned. He internalizes a lot, and it is hard to get a read on what is going on in his head. That being said, he is thoughtful and has been talking with me, asking how I'm doing and everything. He is not interested in corresponding with his dad at all. He calls only my cell phone, and Paul has not tried to reach out to either Eric or Mary. I get the sense that Paul is extremely nervous. He is scared, and I think he deep down knows that if investigated thoroughly, he would be in big trouble. That is what my gut is telling me. I still think about the Zoom call with him, and the more I think about it, the more it looked like he was a man whose entire world was crashing down on him. The panic in his face was very apparent. I offered Mary for me to make an appointment with a therapist as well, but she does not want to see one yet. She said she is open to it eventually, but wants time to herself. She has been asking her friends about her dad and if they experienced any creepiness from him. Her friends were open and honest with her, and apparently they felt like he stared a lot and sensed his hovering presence whenever they were over. One of Mary's friends went so far as to say that she felt like he was checking her out a lot, like looking at her rear and complimenting the color of her yoga pants. At the time, no issue was brought up about it, but in light of everything that has been happening, it seems strange now. He would sit himself in different areas or vantage points to get a good view of her, she claimed. He also asked questions about what kind of friend group or which clique they were in at school. He kept asking if they were popular girls. I am completely embarrassed that they had this experience at our house. As for updates on Amy, which is the main reason why I wanted to write this update, I completely agree that she is also a victim. A lot of people have been emphasizing that, and I agree. I have done everything I could in my own power to indirectly get her opportunities to get help. Like I said, I told her mother and she has been updating me on everything. Amy, unfortunately, is still living in her deluded reality, and I can only pray that she will eventually come to her senses. She does not want to see any doctors or therapists at all and has been constantly trying to reach Paul because, again, she believes that they are in love. From what I have been told, she has not been able to get hold of him and he has been avoiding communication with her completely. Amy blames me for that and believes I took away his devices and am very controlling. Any truth that her mother tries to convey to her is met with conspiracy theories and hostility. Amy looks at me as a villain and still sees Paul through rose-colored glasses. Her mother showed her screenshots of his dating app profiles and matches, and she refuses to believe it, saying I photoshopped it. According to her mother, Amy keeps saying things like everyone is just mad because she found herself a real man, and that I am jealous because she takes better care of him than I do. It is in line with some of the conversations I screenshot, where a lot of what Paul says is him complaining about things I do not do for him. Right now, she is insistent that she and Paul will be together in the long run. I can only hope that Amy comes to her senses, but me directly intervening does not feel like it would be productive at the moment. Update 3. The support, again, has been overwhelming and I am very grateful. Sadly, I have received a lot of negative, accusatory, and harassing private messages from people here who think I am faking this story. Someone made a comment on some post somewhere claiming that my story has been debunked and people believe that person. I have seen an increase in negative messages accusing me of making this up for money. I am not asking for money at all. Coming here was completely rooted in emotional desperation, and I did not expect anyone to get invested in my story this way. But again, I am not looking for anything from this. I have no reason to lie. I am not gaining anything from this. If you do not believe me, that is fine, I do not care. But the only thing I ask is that you do not cross the line and start sending me mean-spirited or accusatory private messages. The only reason I am continuing to post is because of those of you who have sent me love here, and the support really lifts my spirits. As for the divorce, it is very much underway. I am not going to get into the specifics because it is ongoing and I want to make sure everything goes smoothly. I have temporary custody of Mary. Paul also has to pay temporary child support. There is a protective order. Paul cannot contact us or come near us. Right now, we are just focusing on getting through this legal mess. Again, I am not getting into specifics because I do not want to mess anything up, but what I will say is that I am very confident, divorce aside, that there is overwhelming evidence against Paul that will get him in serious trouble and will impact him for the rest of his life. I am sure eventually I can share more about that. I know a lot of people are concerned about his predatory ways, and I just wanted to convey this, even though I have to be vague right now. Justice will come. All of your concern about how my kids are doing psychologically means a lot to me. Eric has been to therapy twice over the last 2 weeks. I know some people thought I was dismissive of him and acting like he is doing okay. I very much know that he is hurting internally and we are doing everything we can to make sure he knows he is supported and loved. My brother has been amazing in spending time with Eric and Mary, and both of them have confided in him about a lot. My brother has a very healthy marriage and both he and his wife have really stepped up to the plate for all of us. Mary has not seen a therapist yet, but she promises that she will be open to seeing one soon. Her anger has mostly turned into sadness, I have noticed, and I hope I can get her to see a therapist soon. Her friends have played a key role in this whole thing, and that is something Mary has been grappling with as well. I know a lot of people are invested in the well-being of Amy as well. There were many questions about whether Eric and Amy would still see each other at school. It sounded like they go to the same school, but they do not. Eric and Amy went to the same junior high school and knew each other even then, but Amy ended up going to an all-girls Catholic high school while Eric stayed in the public school system. We all lived in the same town, and over the summer heading into freshman year is when they were getting to know each other and when they started dating. I wish I had a better update on Amy, but it has gotten a lot worse since the last update. Paul has actually been seeing Amy despite her mother trying to force her not to see him. She tells me that Amy says she is 18 and an adult and she can do what she wants. Her mother is in a precarious spot because if she kicks Amy out of the house for defying her, which she has threatened to do, and I think that would be a mistake, Amy would just run to Paul permanently. The time she spends with Paul has increased over the last week, despite the fact that Paul initially ghosted her when all of this first hit the fan. There were some days when Amy would just be gone for hours on end. There is only so much I can do with the Amy situation, but again, I do believe things will turn around soon given what I know about Paul and what is to come. I can only pray that Amy can get help and guidance when more trouble hits the fan. I am doing everything I can with my own kids and my own mental health, and Amy's mother knows she has my support, and that is all I can really provide. A year later, OP proceeded to give her fourth update. I'm sorry it has been so long since my last update. I did not expect to continue receiving this overwhelming amount of support for so long. Thank you so much. I have gotten so many messages here that I have not been able to respond to, so I wanted to share an update on how everything is on my end and my kids' end. A quick recap for those who might not remember my story. My husband, Paul, cheated on me with our son Eric's 18-year-old girlfriend, Amy. When they were caught, he unraveled at the seams. It was clear that he groomed her for years. He had saved dozens of photos of her from Instagram, kept a secret folder of bondage, discipline, dominance, and submission on his computer, and I eventually discovered screenshots and chat logs between them that were beyond disturbing. Graphic messages, hours-long phone calls, even them mocking me behind my back. When I confronted him over Zoom, he melted down, sweating, stuttering, yelling the word context over and over again. It was a level of panic I have never seen in my life. I filed for divorce. I took our kids, Eric and our daughter Mary, and we left. We stayed at my brother's house. I met with Amy's mother, who confiscated her phone and confirmed everything I had suspected. Amy told her they were in love. She refused therapy, pushed everyone away, and insisted I was jealous and trying to ruin their relationship. Paul ignored Amy for a while, but eventually they started seeing each other again. She was 18 and legally could not be stopped. Meanwhile, I worked with a lawyer. I filed for full custody and we began building a case. Paul kept trying to contact me directly, but I refused to speak to him. We moved forward with the divorce even as more disturbing things came to light. His behavior with Mary's friends, the comments, the hovering, the pattern. It was all there in hindsight. Mary and Eric were both traumatized and they are still in therapy a year later because of it. The amount of scorched earth Paul caused is mind-boggling to me. I am still rattled by it and I do not think I will ever fully recover, to be honest. Paul and Amy dated for several months after we started the divorce proceedings. I tried my hardest to keep in touch with Amy's mother to see if there was anything we could do for her to realize Paul's predatory behavior and maybe speak out against him to see if he had slept with her or done anything to her when she was younger, but she refused to talk about anything. She was in love still. Just a few weeks before the divorce was supposed to finalize, Paul disappeared. He drained what was left of our shared accounts, what I had not already locked down, and left. We found out later that he bought a one-way ticket to Phnom Penh, Cambodia. I had no idea. I got a notification from the financial tracking alert my lawyer set up. That was it. We were close to finalizing everything. I had full custody of Mary. He was not contesting anything. Then he stopped replying, did not show up to court, never filed anything, nothing. It was like he just dissolved. Amy, according to her mother, was devastated and has completely gone mentally. She is basically nomadic, sleeping at friends' homes around the area, refusing to come home. My lawyer pushed for a default judgment and the court granted it. The divorce is technically finalized now. I have custody. He is in violation of the support order, but none of it matters. He is gone. Cambodia has no extradition treaty, no child support enforcement, nothing. There is no way to make him come back or pay anything. We have no actual clue where he is in Cambodia. One thing that chills me to my core is how notorious Cambodia is when it comes to trafficking minors. Eric is in college. He keeps his distance from everything to do with Paul. He does not say much, but he is steady. I know it still hurts. He just does not show it. Mary is quiet about it too. She still brings up little things sometimes, things she remembers now in a different light. She asked me the other night if I thought Paul would come back. I did not answer. I do not think she really wanted me to. I do not know what Paul is doing in Cambodia. I do not know who he is talking to or what his life looks like now. I have had a few people tell me to report him to the FBI or try to push for an international investigation. I have made the calls. I have filed what I could, but there is only so much they can do when someone has not technically committed a crime that is provable in the United States. I do not believe he left the country just to avoid alimony. I think he is a predator and I think he is a criminal. That is all for now. I do not have much else to give. I am still here. My kids are still here, and we are trying. Thanks to everyone for their concern and care. It really warms me and means so much. Enchanted Flower said, a one-way ticket to Cambodia is not typically possible as they require a visa and proof of a return flight. Unless he had a special circumstance, airlines generally will not allow you to board the departing flight unless you have met the country's requirements, and a one-way flight to a country requiring return flights would not suffice. BFan72 said he went there looking for young, desperate girls. My nephew was in the service, and in the Philippines, girls would approach him on the streets. This was last year. He said that it was awful. Thankfully, he had no interest in taking advantage of them. Unfortunately, many men do. Accomplished Race said, my childhood friend, as it turned out, was groomed when she was about 16 by a married man who was maybe 35 or 40. She knew he was married but thought he was her boyfriend. He lived in another state but often had some activity that brought him to our area for several weeks at a time. I was pretty innocent myself and thought they were just friends. I only met him once or twice and did not really know him at all. Their relationship went on for a number of years. At one point, she stayed with me for a week and he called her at my house, so he knew my number. The day after she left, he called me. I shut him down instantly but did not tell her. In hindsight, I wish I had told her because she might have realized that she was not special to him at all. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video, and thank you also to partner of the channel, Gamersupps. Use code DLAM to support the channel and get 10% off of your purchase, link in the description. I'm sure many of you like me have a hankering for daily caffeine, so go check them out. Lately, I've been a big fan of Titty Milk and Acid Rain, but they've got dozens of other flavors for y'all to try out. Anyway, thanks again for reaching the end, and I hope you all have an amazing passage of the next 24 hours.